Did Google look stronger than Facebook does today when Google did its IPO in 2004? It's it's fun. It's fun to watch the big jockeying for position among the technology giants. Our lives are so very dependent upon the technology giants. 500 million people a day spend more than 3 hours on Facebook. It's just I can't even comprehend spending 3 hours a day on Facebook. That has nothing to do with Facebook. It's just the time spent. Facebook is obviously the greatest innovation of our time, and that's what all the commotion is about in anticipation of the Facebook IPO coming up in a few weeks, less than a month, well, maybe about a month. The most anticipated announcement of an IPO of all times, because it's going to value a company less than 8 years old, or at that time about 8 years old. They're going to value that company. The top figure I've heard so far is $105 billion. You heard me reference that $5 billion story last week. In a supposedly 48-hour period, the Zuck himself, without any direction from his board or information to his board, supposedly, put a deal together to buy a company called Instagram for $1 billion. And supposedly the deal was done in a 48-hour period. That $1 billion investment that the Zuck made, probably a check written by himself, because on the time the company goes public, he will have value of over $41 billion. I think that's a conservative estimate, and he can write some pretty big checks. personally, not Facebook itself. A fun fact: for all the shares that the Zuck has of Facebook, and I'm not exactly sure of, who knows what that number is now, he paid 6 cents a share. So when you see whatever the stock price is, the opening day, well, the IPO stock price, God knows. Well, here's the guideline. We just got a guideline on that. Facebook stock valued at $30.89 in the Instagram deal. An updated IPO filing shows. Facebook paid for its $1 billion acquisition of Instagram with 23 million shares of stock valued at $30.89 a share, plus $300 million cash. That was just this week. 2 days ago, the IPO showing. The IPO filing showed. Well, getting back to it's something big is going to happen, and a month away. We don't even know how big it is. Well, we have a bottom figure on how big it is. We have no idea what that top figure is, because at the same time, very close to the same time, the 1 billionth person on this planet, maybe it's not a billion people, the 1 billionth profile will be databased at Facebook.com. 1 billion people around the world. And that does not include anybody in China, India, or Spain. They're not allowed to have Facebook profiles. My goodness, what if they could? China, India. Oh, Zuck is probably making a deal to give the Chinese government 49% of all revenues realized in China. Facebook just announced a not a very good quarter. I kind of say, so what? Their net income for the first 3 months of 2012 fell to 205 million from 233 million. Well, yeah, Zuck can't keep up with how many servers he has to buy, control, to have 1 billion profiles. Lots and lots and lots of expenses. And yes, the business model really has not been put in place. It's being put in place by various things that Facebook is doing. What is Facebook doing? What is Microsoft doing with Facebook? Microsoft 2 years ago got involved in a major partnership with Facebook. I'm not exactly sure, but there's a relationship between Facebook and Skype. We know about Microsoft's we know about their technology. Their technology. Well, before we get to technology, because there's a big announcement this week in Microsoft's technology. Let's go to the technology. Well, search engine. That's what I was looking for. Microsoft owns a search engine called Bing. I've never used it that much. The few times that I have used it, I didn't see anything that really drew my attention. But then again, I'm not a user of it. Pretty exclusive to Google search. Not pretty exclusive, very exclusive. And Facebook doesn't really have much search functionality beyond putting a person's name and looking for that person. If they can't do that, they're in deep trouble. It would make sense for a search engine to be in place that users of Facebook, while in Facebook, could use. And Bing would be obviously, well, and I shouldn't say obviously, it looks like the choice for that. But just this week, Microsoft sold $550 million dollars worth of former AOL patents from Microsoft. In other words, Microsoft had bought some AOL patents, sold them to Facebook for $550 million. It will be interesting to see how this positions Facebook in the technology world with these patents, because we are going to see more and more patent fights than we've ever seen before. Yahoo began the main fight that we're watching when they sued Facebook, saying that Facebook had infringed on 10 patents that Yahoo owned, controlled. Facebook answered that accusation with well, Yahoo, you're doing stuff that you stole from Facebook, and it represents about $2 billion of revenue. Or maybe it was $4 billion. Somewhere between $2 and $4 billion of revenue. So that battleground was set, and then with this announcement coming just within 2 weeks that Microsoft had sold Facebook $550 million of AOL patents. Now, now the slugfest is going to begin. And so that earnings loss that Facebook showed in the first quarter this year, yes, no company wants to show an earnings loss, especially one that's just getting ready to go public. In the scheme of things, it doesn't matter anything. And why are we talking about this? Our original question was, how did Google enter their IPO in 2004? Well, they did end much better. They went into their IPO in a much better financial position than Facebook is going into theirs in the scheme of things. Google did a lot better in the second quarter of 2004, the quarter before it went public. Well, and I just told you that Facebook went from 205 million in earnings at 230, from 233 down to 205. Google's quarter just before it went public, while costs were rising quickly. This is back in 2004. Google's notched revenue growth of 125% growth in the second quarter of 2004 compared with the same period the previous year. That was much faster than Facebook's 45% increase. Anyways, neither company has too much to worry about. And positioning one against the other, I think that's a waste of time to really do that. Google has and always will dominate search because they created search. Facebook has created the largest database of human beings being able to communicate with one another that's ever been created. So they both know very well what they're doing. But let's not kid ourselves for a moment. We are in the information business. There is so much information available, and it's Google's mission in life to provide you with the best possible information they can based upon the zillions upon zillions of pieces of information that they search to bring the best of that information to you. That's what they do. All the other things that we're hearing about, it's just because they have the resources available, they have information. And in fact, in a little while, Small Biz David will go into his red Google bag to see what he might find. A little hint, Google made 3 major announcements in the last couple days, all of which impact anybody looking for information, especially small businesses.